Our next speaker is Mr. C.N. Ashok, and his subject is very interesting. Will the next gen inherit? Mr. C.N. Ashok will share what he has understood about the concerns of the printing business houses regarding the future of their organizations. Having spoken at many seminars on printing and having interacted with every level of the printing fraternity, from small printing business owners to large printing corporates, Mr. Ashok has done personal research on the key factors for the next gen to inherit a business. Most printing business houses feel that a profitably running business, where risks have been taken and investments made towards expansion and modernization, may attract the new gen to step in. Is this a myth or a reality? What is the need of the hour, and what does it take to groom the next gen into inheriting your business? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. C.N. Ashok of Autoprint.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You are lucky that all my earlier speakers, barring Fahim, I was the only person who have attended from morning 10 a.m. till now. All the speakers came in, addressed and went. So I can empathize at what stage you are in. So a lot of grilling right from the general in the morning, after which and so on and so forth. So I will keep my session very light and even try to complete it early. The clock is very much here, so I will do it. That assurance I can give it to Iqbal also. With this introduction, I am a Mofassil guy. I come from Coimbatore, very far off, so I need to give a little introduction about me because why did I select this subject? The reason why I selected was I lost my father when I was 3. And I have 7 siblings and I'm the last in the family. He died in 1967. Subsequently in my schooling, I was something like playing basketball for 6 hours a day. Represented my state, Tamil Nadu, for basketball, and subsequently could not join BCom. I did not have the enough marks and I got admitted into BCom with the sports quota in the evening college. Passed out college with arrears. My family is not here anyway. So passed out with arrears and managed to scrape through. And subsequently went on to register myself for the chartered accountancy. In the chartered accountancy, I could pass both the inter and the final within the 3 years and graduated to become a chartered accountant full-fledged. Then I took a big risk, left the chartered accountancy and started our business now, which is Autoprint, which is now about 25 years old, where I have 10,500 customers. And then we export about 25% of the output. With this background, I've started thinking in the last 5-7 years, will my business be inherited by my son or daughter? With this background in mind, I started meeting printers, and then that is how this presentation is made for you. I will go a little fast in certain areas because of the time, and then maybe take some questions. But let me tell you, I'm not an expert. I'm a first-generation entrepreneur, and now you can't grill me on certain questions. Maybe we can only discuss at the end of the presentation. Have I made myself clear? Yes. Yeah, with this I'm going on. Well, a lot of people talk today morning about change. And the last Leh Ladakh was a brilliant thing where we talked about the change. Usually when you create change, we are talking about creating change like Mahatma Gandhi in non-violence, and subsequently now our Prime Minister with the demonetization and so on. Now all these leaders here, the first gen, I would say the current gen is 45 plus, and the next gen will be 45 and below. What happens is, the current gen was creative And he did a lot of creativity, and then he started his business. But now, is he still creative? He is getting scared because the wealth has been created, a lifestyle has been done. When the next gen comes, he knows he is going to make some mistakes and he starts resisting. That's where the conflict between the current gen and the next gen starts. Well, if you look at the current gen, if you think about it, including me, the risk what I took is what got me here. But today, if you start restricting your next gen with playing it safe or don't do that, don't do this, etc., the current gen, the next gen doesn't enjoy the business or would like to inherit. So the most important thing is, what do you do under these situations? So I had a mentor. The mentor gave this, let go. So the current gen should have a target for let go. I'll tell you a simple example for let going. Best example is my wife. Whenever we go for shopping, she will never make a list. A lot of firing. And then what we did, in the kitchen we put a whiteboard and then we put the marker. And you know something? I've married for 25 years now, and she has wrote only 3 times the list on the board. So what do? I let go. Right? So where is the target for let go? We seem to hold everything tight and we don't have a target. Like those days when you go to Kasi or somewhere, you're asked to leave 2 fruits and 2 vegetables and so on and so forth. Why was it done? Because as you grow old, it is important that you have a target for let go. And in my case, when it comes to business, you hire a new employee, he comes in and he becomes aggressive. Obviously, he has to be aggressive because he's been hired to produce results. But then we ask him to play it safe. Then how would the company grow? So the current gen has to have a target of let go. This is my first thing, which is an issue with the current gen above 45 years, including me. The next one is something called emotional bank account. Well, in the morning, if you go through from the major, subsequently to Mr. Shekhar Gupta, and then all the people, including our gentleman, this was touched entirely sequentially. What is this emotional bank account? Can anybody tell me from the audience for a minute? Could you make some guesses? Okay, I'll just tell you. 36,500 to life. Could you tell me what it is? Can anybody say? Quick, we are losing 2-3 seconds. Yeah, when we live in this earth for 100 years, the number of days that you spend is only 36,500. Right? Then the life expectancy of a normal citizen in India is only 70 years, which is 25,550. And I'm 52 years. I have spent, I calculated, 19,000 days is gone for me. If I'm going to live only 70 years, my balance period available is only 6,550 days. And you know, my father, he went to the office in 1967. He was a bank employee. My mother was waiting at home at 11 o'clock in the chair in a bank. He died. And she got a message at 11 o'clock. We are an Orthodox Brahmin family. She did the puja at 11 o'clock. And the bank manager comes and says, bank official comes and says, your father is no more. So we are taking things for granted. And we are saying that we are going to live. What is the guarantee that you have? And have you made your emotional bank account with your current gen and with your next gen and with your employee? I find in many places we take deposits to be granted. What are these deposits? Oh, it's not coming. Okay. What are these deposits? If you look at deposits, deposits is listening patiently to people, respecting them, If you make deposits in terms of team efforts, we were talking, you see in many cases, he was mentioning our former Prime Minister, Mr. Vajpayee. Why? Because he made a fantastic emotional deposit with him. Every time he gave an appointment, he spoke well, and deposits can be in many forms, but we need to be conscious. And what are these? One, early stages in life, are you spending enough time with your people? When he's very young, you keep on saying you're busy. But are you spending the enough time? If you spend enough time, you are making an emotional bank account. My mother is 96 and she is with me. What deposit do I make? I go every day in the evening, I keep my cell phone out of the room. Second, she is hale and healthy, touch wood, everything is fine. She is very conscious. She will tell 100th time the same information what we have been discussing. I will patiently listen with all the attention. I would have listened that story several times, but then at 96 years, what are you talking? You need to spend that time with her. So that's emotional bank account. Third, difficult times. Let's assume that you have a fantastic BMW, your son bangs it, right? He comes home, he's already upset. You start firing him. You are fast, you did this, you did that, etc., etc. You are making an effective withdrawal. When somebody is feeling for it, you must make a deposit by accepting it and being with him at difficult times. Are we doing that? I don't know, but I would say if you become conscious on deposits, inheritance is definitely to be there. These are the two issues we have. Now we are going to go to the solution to these two issues. When I talk about solutions, maybe emotional bank account, I can discuss many things. I'll discuss one issue alone on emotional bank account for you to understand. I had a basketball coach who brought me from the 3-year-old, from 5 years I was in the basketball court. And my mother will leave me in the basketball court because he knew that the coach could mentor me and bring me up. This coach died, and when he died, we had the condolence meeting in a big auditorium. There were about 25 people to speak, where we had an army major, we have an IPS officer, everybody were students, including us, my brother, everybody. In which case, there was a company owner, entrepreneur, who's clocking about 5,000 crores in turnover. Can you believe it? All of them on the podium wept. They cried, literally. 70-year-old crying, and then we have a 30-year-old crying, and imagine what this coach could have done as emotional bank account deposit. And today, my internet password is his death anniversary. That is what a person could create in terms of a deposit. Please do not take it granted that every day in BMPA today, when the lunch I was talking to all of them, that they are conducting like a wedding. And it is not a ritualistic. Everybody is depositing from the BMPA team to your emotional bank account. And that is why year on year this event is going bigger and bigger. Nobody is doing it artificially. Everybody is doing their part, and everybody is depositing every now and then. Coming to data, what happens? It's proved that in data, after an age of 18, you cannot change people unless you produce data. That's a different issue. Even if you produce data, my weight is 92. I go stand on it, but then the data remains like that, and then desert comes, everything is fine, nothing happens. Even if you produce data, the change is difficult. But now, I've understood in the last 3 years, producing data with single number is a crime. When you ask for a data, you ask for a data in relation to 3 years. For example, I get an SMS now, my OCC balance. my OCC balance at 4 o'clock should be related to the last year's same period or year before. If it's going to be a turnover of this April, this January, related to the turnover of previous year, and in relation, if you, no information should be presented standalone. When you start presenting data for 3 years and 4 years, you start feeling the change starts happening. The change starts happening. So this is one. The second one, what I learned was a graphical presentation. If you see this graphical presentation, in this graphical presentation, it's a live data. Usually internationally, the graphs are made in 3. One is the black will be the previous year, the blue will be the target, and then the green will be green or red will be the current year actual. So if you start presenting this and you start meaning it, and now the January, February and March is projected. So last year he was at, I don't have a pointer. If you see the flat areas, gives you a lot of indication. For example, 204, 204, 204 is a flat area in last year. Between November, December and January, the business was very poor. Immediately you start drawing an action plan that my graph is flat this year, last year. I need to do something, otherwise it's something like you can't beat your seasons. Say if you're talking about ice cream will be sold only in summer in big numbers. If you're talking about cars, it's sold during Ayudha Puja and all that. So you can't beat the trends. In every trend when the cycle happens, in that period, I need to grow 20%. It's not that you just make an unrealistic chart. That is why if you see all this graph, 204, the blue one is 409. We expected this year that the graph will be flat. We took some action. Because of the action, we went to 452 to 504, and then we are heading to 644 in one of the divisions of the export. So what I'm saying is, to the next gen, take data, present it to them nicely, and make them realize. Don't keep on pushing. Don't keep on pushing. They know about it, they can see it. But what we do is, we start pushing them left, right, and center, and they get frustrated. Am I fast or am I okay with it? Yeah. So, I need some water. Yeah, thank you. So, data is very critical, and I feel printing companies are not spending enough time in getting data. We used to have management review meetings, and management review meetings, data are presented. If you take a data statement or stock statement, etc., the data presented are very poor in quality. I was talking to a senior person in Cummins in USA. I was asking, what about data? You know what he said? If data is presented bad in the meeting, bad or inaccurate, the employee is asked to leave, because they believe that this is a misrepresentation to the management. The employee is just asked to leave. So it's so serious that the data must be accurate and you must produce the best data. The last but one, I'm going to go in. So let's assume today, we are giving a next gen here, a youngster of 25 years is available in the crowd, and the father says, let's diversify in flexible packaging. Maybe our Chinese will be very happy about it because he can sell more omelette machines. So he's been asked to do for the flexible packaging. So how do I delegate? There are two types of delegation. One is called gopher and the other one is called stewardship. Gopher is that you don't delegate it incomplete. You keep on nagging him. Every now and then, what happened, what happened, what happened, this happened, that happened. So what happened? You are not empowering your people, but rather than, that is a whole old school of school, but it worked then. Now it wouldn't work, and if at all it works, you can't manage more number of people. So you need to now go into a system called stewardship. What is stewardship? Stewardship delegation is first you say a clear objective, guideline, you give him the necessary resources, accountability, and the last one is called consequences. When we say consequences, we also say the good consequences and the bad consequences. I'm just going, so one is we say the top line growth need to be 1 crore, 3 crore and 6 crore on the first 3 years. Bottom line, first year minus 25 lakhs is accepted. BEP in the second year and third year 1 crore. So this is the objective which is sold to the next gen. You say, hey look, are you okay with it? He can go back, he can come, he can do everything, whatever it is, let him take all the ownership of that. That is done. Next is, we give the guideline. We say the investment that he will be very unhappy. So he can't do it within 3 crores. So 3 crores will be this thing. You go to a Markandi or you go to a used machine or whatever you want, or you go to intermittent letterpress, orthotech, whatever you want you do. But then my investment will be 3 crores, 1. 2, the external borrowing must not cross 1.5 crores and then it should be within 13%. You go to IDBI or wherever it is, let the next gen be pushed. Then you give him the manpower, give the best transfer of your team. You say, whom do you want? You take it. Second, money, of course. Knowledge, he wants a training in some place, let him go. And then the time. When I say time, the current gen weekly must spend 2 hours for the new project. It can't be unprofessional. You just call up, tomorrow morning we meet. No, it'll be on a Saturday morning, it's 2 hours, we work. Yeah. Then accountability, we ask for an MIS report every 15 days, which he agrees. Monthly P&L and every month. Quality rejection report every Monday morning, because that's very sensitive. So he agrees. The last one, consequences. If it is good, next lot of investment of INR 3 crores will be guaranteed. Or we say bad, we may exit this business after 3 years. This is called stewardship delegation. Why this is not happening is the delegator needs to do a lot of homework. Invariably, the delegator is not clear. And if you are not clear, please do not start. You do not start. If you're clear, then you must allow the next gen to go the extra mile. So this is the solution number 2. The last one, I'm well within the time, maybe 3 minutes I can finish it. So the next one is what not to let go. First I said what you should let go and what not to let go. See, you all know QCD, quality, cost and delivery. So for quality, cost and delivery, it's common to every business, and the tool that you use for cost QCD, the tool that you use is your suggestion scheme. One of the things can be suggestion scheme. So you want, say for example, when we say a tool for running a machine, you have a spanner, right? Similar thing, when you want to do QCD, you go to the employees and say, please suggest, what do we do? The guy comes and says, this can be done, that can be done, that can be done, and then you do the QCD. This is common to all the business. Then you should not forget that every business that you run has something unique for you. What is it unique? In an airline industry, it is safety. Speed and safety. If you go to a hotel industry, it is hygiene. If you come to our industry of capital equipment, it is reliability and after-sales service. For printing, you'll have to tell me.
Thank you, Mr. Ashok.
Yeah.
I think
But I thought you should give me a question on printing. I didn't get anybody telling me what is it special for printing.
So they were spellbound actually by your presentation, so everybody wanted to hear you out before they wanted to come up with any questions. I think the subject that you have chosen could also allow us to do it with our team also, not only just the next gen,
Yes.
but all the ideas that you have suggested could also be used with anybody whom we want to train in
I
our
was
own.
scared not to tell about the team because you're all senior people already having good inheritance, right? How would I say that?
But अभी there are some people 45 के जो वो border पे उनका क्या? आपने 45 से ऊपर और 45 के नीचे का कर दिया है.
Fine, I wouldn't take
I mean,
a risk
someone
in
like
this
Fahim
part
who's
of
just
the world
25.
because this part of India, sorry.
I'm saying somebody like Fahim who's just 25, he doesn't know where to go, you know. Okay, so what we will do is we'll allow 2 questions to Mr. Ashok. 2 quick questions, please. Is there anything which you feel is something that you want to ask?
Was it too heavy?
No, that's your question to them. I'm wanting their questions come to you. All right. Yes, please. Yes. To you specifically or to anybody who wants it? Okay. So I think that shouldn't be a problem. Is it okay?
Yeah,
Mr.
no
Ashok, that you
problem.
can share it?
Perfectly
Okay.
all right.
All right, friends. So
Only
now
give me an order.
we have with us the president of AIFMB, Mr. Kamal Chopra. So I'll just request him to come up on stage and felicitate Mr. Ashok. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a big hand. Brilliant, sir. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much.
We meet again on March 4th. Sure.
Thank you, Ashok ji. Thank you, Kamal ji.
Yeah.
Brilliant. मेरा मन तो हो रहा है कि लास्ट सेशन चालू कराएं, बट उसके पहले we have a few gifts, so I'm just trying to get rid of them. Is it okay for you? I want a quick answer to this question. For how many years is PS being held in the NCPA? Quick. I want a raise of hands. I'm not going to accept an answer like that. Okay. Please. Sorry. 5, 6. मेरे को थोड़ी मालूम है. I thought you tell me. चलो थोड़ा जरा तुम लोग को हिलाना था. गिफ्ट 4 years हो गए. अच्छा, who said 4? आपने बोला ठीक है. चलो मनोज जी आपको दिए. चलो. I think these guys themselves don't know, but आपका सब मतलब जवाब उनको अच्छा लगा है. Okay.